All right, here we go. This is assignment 2.4. 2.4 is very similar to, I believe, assignment 2.3 and maybe a little bit of 2.2. So if you need to go back to those videos, I'd advise you go ahead and take a look at those. Those will really help you out. Okay, how they are similar is here are going to be kind of the important ideas of the day. In general, what we are talking about in this assignment is change. And so when we have change, we can have absolute change, which is, the change of the amount of money. It went up $2, it went down $3, whatever. And then the one that we're really going to be using today is the percent change, the percent change right here. So let's go ahead and take a closer glance at this one right here. We are talking about the percent change. So in a percent change, what you do is you take the general change, okay, and you take it in comparison to the original. All right, so that will turn it into a percentage, and then you multiply by 100. So it's the new minus the original, which is the change, over the original. Again, some contextual clues that you may want to look for to help identify the various aspects of this change is what is the original and what is the new. If it comes from something, that is the original. If it goes to something, that is the new. However, in some of the problems that we have today, they will not use those words of from and to, but rather they'll give a date of some sort. For instance, would be gas in 2004 was $1.38. Gas in 2025 is $3.19. All right, where they didn't use the word from and to, but it's very obvious, hopefully, that the 2004 date would be the original value and the 2025 is the new value, for example. All right, and then it's also probably kind of important to understand how to generally make a percentage. But by and large, the thing that you really need to focus in on is this percent change, the stuff written in blue. All right, let's go ahead to a couple examples and figure this out. The population of a town increased from, they straight up use the word from 3,850 to 5,090. Oh, to 5,090. Let me fix myself here a little bit. To 5,090. Now, if they use the word from and to, don't let the date, the year, confuse you. A lot of times students use that date in a calculation of some sort, which is not relevant. You've got to focus on the actual number that they are speaking of. All right, and here they want to know what is the percent increase. That is, in essence, in other words, what is the percent change? All right, so to figure out this percent change, this percent increase, what we are going to do is we're going to take the new minus the original, or the change in essence, in comparison to what the original value was. So if it went from 3,850, that would be the original value. And if it goes to 5,900, that is the new value. So I go ahead and take those variables and put it into the formula that we know. Okay, so here we go. We got 5900 minus 3850 on the top. Divide that by 3850 and then multiply by 100. So this went up, thus the positive 53.25%. All right, and that's how you find the percent increase or percent decrease, in essence, the percent change. So again, when you go through these problems, I'm not going to do these for you, but again, focus on the number. You can kind of ignore the year. Focus on the number, ignore the year. Okay, don't let the year get in the way of a good time. Especially here, for instance, we're talking about carbon dioxide levels. So these are the important numbers. Now, notice that they don't use the word from and to. However, they're obviously related to these specific dates. Right, so 1959 would be the original, and the 391 would obviously be the to. But again, don't use 1959 or 2005 in an actual calculation. They just help identify the variable that is being used. All right. Last question that I kind of want to talk about is number 5. Here's the scenario. Anthony and his son Johnny are exercising more regularly and keeping track of their weight loss. Both Anthony and Johnny lost 10 pounds. Okay, from this information alone, can you determine if they both lost the same percentage of weight? So let's talk about the percentage of change. All right, so in this situation, the absolute change is they lost 10 pounds. So they don't straight up give you a new or an original. They just kind of give you the answer to the absolute change. Okay? But the ultimate question is, well, what is the percent change? So again, we know what this top value is in this particular situation, but notice what we don't know. We don't know their original weight. To find a percentage, you have to know what the original weight is. All right, so make sure you have that figured out. So no, I don't know what percentage Anthony or Johnny or whatever their names are lost because I don't know their original weights. It's impossible to come up with a percentage if I don't know that stuff. So let's go back. From this information alone, can you determine if they both lost the same percentage of weight? No, I cannot. And the reason is I don't know their original weights. All right. No, we don't know their original weights. Okay. Well, in number 6, a caveat to number 5 is suppose Anthony's starting weight was 190 and Johnny's was 155. All right. Who lost a larger percentage of their start weight? Who lost a larger percent? Well, to do this, what I would encourage you to do is actually figure out the percent change. All right, so let's start with Anthony. All right, so again, what we know is that they lost 10 pounds. So that top new minus original is going to be -10 for both of them. All right, so we know that top aspect of the formula right from the get. So here we go. So Anthony lost 10 pounds in comparison to his original 190. All right, so that's Anthony. Now I repeat this exact same process with Johnny. Notice that Johnny's original weight is 155. So the change in comparison to Johnny himself. So 10 pounds was lost in comparison to his 155 frame is 6.45%. All right, so the ultimate question is, who lost the larger percentage of their starting weight? And that answer is obviously Johnny. All right, so the other problems in this assignment are just mimics of things that we've already done. If you need to go back and watch potentially the 2.3 video or the 2.2 video, go ahead and make sure you do that. But this should be pretty much it for today. It's big time percent change.